we're about to dive into some psychology facts that, well, they might feel a little dark. But hang on, the goal here isn't to freak you out. It's actually the opposite. It's about waking you up. Because, once you really get the hidden reasons behind why you feel and act the way you do, that's when you can finally stop blaming yourself and actually start to grow.
So let me ask you something. Think about it. Have you ever felt that sudden, intense flash of irritation over some tiny little noise? Or what about this? You hang out with friends, have a simple conversation, and afterwards you just feel completely wiped out. Or maybe you catch yourself, biting your nails or fidgeting, and you don't even realize you're doing it.
Yeah, most of us just brush these things off, right? We call them personal quirks or, oh, it's just a bad habit. But psychology, it tells a totally different story, a much, much deeper one. See, these little moments are actually windows into our inner wiring. And today we're going to pry them open and see what's really going on inside. Okay, so let's jump right in with our first fact. If you're the kind of person who gets instantly irritated by certain sounds, I'm talking about people chewing loudly, or that constant drone of traffic, or even music that's just a little bit too sharp, chances are you've heard it a million times. You're just overreacting.
Well, psychology comes in and just flips that whole idea on its head. This isn't some emotional flaw, not at all. A really strong reaction to noise, it often means your nervous system is just, it's more sensitive. Your brain is literally processing all that stimulation faster and way more deeply than the average person's. So get this, you're not weak, you're highly aware. A lot of creatives, deep thinkers, really emotionally intelligent people, they all share this trait. Sure, the downside is you can feel overloaded sometimes, but the upside, it's huge. You notice the little things, the subtleties and details that most people just walk right past. It's not you being dramatic, it's just how you're wired.
All right, let's move on to fact number 2. And this one might sting a little. You know who we're talking about. The person who is always correcting other people's grammar. We're not even talking about a formal paper. In a casual text message or just a normal conversation. Now, on the surface, it looks like they're just being helpful, right? Or they just really love precise language. But psychologically, this behavior is almost never about the words themselves. It usually comes from a really deep, subconscious need for control. Think about it. By correcting someone, that person gets this little hit of superiority, a sense of safety in that moment. It's like if they can control the words, they can control the whole situation.
And this brings us to a really powerful idea. True, genuine confidence, it doesn't need to prove anything. It doesn't have to go around pointing out other people's tiny little flaws. It's already secure. It just exists.
Okay, fact number 3. This is one that I know a lot of people are going to feel in their bones. It's that feeling of being completely, totally wiped out after socializing. And even with people you genuinely like. You probably get called antisocial or people say you're too quiet.
But what if there's another explanation? What if you're an empath? See, an empath doesn't just listen to what people are saying. They subconsciously absorb the emotional energy of everyone around them. You're not just hearing about someone's bad day, you are literally feeling it with them. And let me tell you, processing all of that costs a massive amount of energy. This next thought is such a powerful reframe because it gets right to the heart of the matter. You're not tired of people, you're tired of carrying people. You're exhausted from carrying the weight of all their emotions, and that is a seriously heavy load, especially when most of the time you don't even realize you're picking it up. And that's why if you're an empath, alone time isn't just nice, it feels like oxygen. It's not you being rude or selfish, it is a necessary recharge. So learning how to set boundaries to protect your energy, that's not a weakness. It is one of the most vital forms of self-improvement you can do. All right, on to fact number 4. Let's talk about those little physical things we do. Biting your lip, picking at your nails, constantly tapping your foot, or fidgeting with a pen. We all tend to just write these off as, oh, it's just a habit. But the thing is, habits almost always have deeper roots. These little actions, they're often your body's way of trying to release tension that your mind is holding on to, tension it can't process or let go of. It's like a physical pressure valve for suppressed anxiety or that intense drive for perfectionism. You see this a lot in people who are super driven, the classic overthinkers, and anyone who's really hard on themselves. And this is why just trying to force yourself to stop doing that almost never works, right? Because you're just treating the symptom, not the cause. The real solution is to go deeper, to address what's causing it in the first place. You have to find ways to calm that inner pressure and give your nervous system a break. Okay, now for our 5th and final fact. And this one,
This one kind of ties everything we've been talking about together. We're going to talk about what truly makes someone confident and, yeah, attractive in a room. So first, let's get clear on what it isn't. Real, deep confidence, it isn't loud. It doesn't need to shout to be heard. It doesn't have to demand the spotlight.
And it is definitely not about dominance. It's not about trying to control every single conversation, every situation. Because as we already talked about, that's usually just a mask, isn't it? A mask for insecurity. So what is it then? What's the real truth? It's self-control. True confidence, the kind that really draws people in, comes from a place of inner mastery.
And this is the key insight right here. Psychology shows us that people who are genuinely working on themselves, the ones who are trying to understand their own behavior, to get a handle on their emotional reactions, and who are actively working on their mindset, those people become naturally magnetic. They attract others without even trying to. And why is that? It's because growth itself is magnetic.
So let's bring this all together. The whole point of looking at these so-called dark facts isn't to make you feel bad about yourself. It's the exact opposite. They're meant to free you because awareness is always the first step. It's what turns those unconscious habits into conscious choices.
So I want to leave you with this question. Looking back at these 5 things we talked about, the sensitivity to noise, the grammar correcting, the social exhaustion, those anxious little habits, and the real nature of confidence, which one of them? Which one felt maybe a little uncomfortably accurate for you? And why do you think that is? Really sitting with that question. That's where the real growth starts.